So what's up, guys? Here with FC Wonderkid now on episode 3. Here with Brett and my colleague in the States. Right now where you're in the shore, right?
Yeah, Cape May, New Jersey.
Oh, how are you? How are you? How are things?
Doing great. I'm in this incredibly white and light room. It's a wonder what technology does that we're still able to do this.
Sure.
But there's a lot to talk about, so let's get cracking.
Let's get cracking. It is so if we're gonna get cracking, we need about talk about the big Champions League week it was,
Yeah.
and boy oh boy, the best talent in the Champions League this week, in my opinion, was Phil Foden. What are
Oh,
your
I thought
thoughts
you were
on?
gonna say Mason Mount. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
straight away? Is it?
geez, geez. Wow, that's awkward. I'm sorry.
Well, it is awkward because I'm assuming in the Champions League final, you're counting more on the London side, right?
No, not necessarily. I just like a lot of drama. Um, but when it comes, let's take them one at a time. Phil Foden, man, Phil
Let's
Foden.
go. Let's go.
Um,
So, what are your
all I can
thoughts?
say, I'll start with Phil Foden just very quickly, and then I'll let you jump in because I know you got a lot of comments on him. But all I can say, let's not even talk about talent because you're going to talk about that. Let's not talk about stats. You're going to talk about that. Here's what I'm going to say about Phil Foden. Steely resolve. This kid, how many times over the last 12, 24 months did people write him off saying he needed to leave Manchester City, saying he was never going to get a chance. He was never going to do it. And he nose to the grindstone, got it done. He's worked his ass off. He's worked his way in. He has become incredibly trusted by Pep. And I honestly do believe that it's only a starting point for him. And man, it's going to be a wonderful theater for him to show off. I believe it's May 25th, something like that, is the Champions League final. So before you even kick a football, that's what I got to say about him. How many times has he been written off? You can actually say the same thing about Mason Mount. But how many times has Phil Foden been written off only to basically come back and become an important person for City? So,
Well, the big difference between Mason Mount and Phil Foden is Mason Mount had the loans to
mhm,
Vitesse and Derby County, in
true.
which he grew. He grew as a player, and Phil Foden, there was a bit of a question mark. I'll be truthful on my end. You know it. I know. I could hear it when you were speaking that you were saying, "Oh, like you wanted the loan," and I did. I'm gonna say it. I wanted Foden with Bielsa at Leeds. I was very fond about that loan move,
Mhm.
but thank God he didn't because wow, wow, what happened? I am absolutely shocked that Neymar was outshined by this 20-year-old English kid from Stockport, Phil
Yeah.
Foden.
Yeah.
Uh, it's I think the Champions League match was the answer of all my doubts about who was number 3 in the Wonder Kids category. I
Yeah.
know Mbappe isn't a Wonder Kid right now, but I'll put Mbappe number 1 in terms of young talents. Haaland number 2 and Phil Foden number 3 right
Oh
now.
wow. Okay. Oh man.
Uh, he
You jumped.
outshined Mbappe and Neymar here, and this is the first final of a Champions League that Pep Guardiola is going without Lionel Messi.
Sure.
And if it weren't for Phil Foden, he might not be there. Because the against Dortmund, I know if they didn't have Phil Foden, they would have passed against Dortmund. I'm not saying they wouldn't have, but he scored 2 goals, and
Mhm.
one of the goals was amazing,
Mhm.
amazing, and the assist against PSG and the runs at 20. He's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like he's the first player for Man City this season to have double figures.
Yeah. Sure.
This at 20. And let's not forget that Pep Guardiola, I think it was a year or two ago, he said he was the best player, the best youngster he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And Guardiola saw Lionel Messi playing, going up La Masia, and he says Phil Foden is number 1.
Yeah.
So this is destined for greatness. Sorry, you want to say something? I
No,
was.
no, no, and just to jump on top of that, uh, even after he said something like that, Foden still had to wait his turn. He still had to
Yes.
wait his turn. He had to wait for Silva to go. He had Aguero had to be injured. There were just so many different things when it comes to a deep squad like City, and basically Guardiola. They probably did give him the chance multiple
Yeah.
times to go out on loan, and it comes down to the fact that he again stuck his nose. Kept his nose to the grindstone and just kept working, 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 and got his chance. And every time he got his chance, he did something with it, which you can't say the same about how many times have we waited to see somebody shine only for them to, kind of fade away in the spotlight. Sometimes understandably, because it's a big spotlight.
I
To
agree.
play for a team like City, that's a big spotlight. And yeah, again, Stockport born, City raised. It's an amazing story, and it's one that when you put it next, you'd think we're talking about the FA Cup final here or something, right? When you're talking about a English talent like Phil Foden going up against an English talent like Mason Mount
No,
in
yeah.
the Champions League final.
Yeah.
It's an amazing story. It really is. And I got to say one more thing about, because you talked about the runs. His footwork, his ability to just sniff out a goal or an opportunity is just insane. And the resolve, right? All of that, the character that shows in what he plays, and the maturity that shows in what he plays. I'm more interested to see how many kids behind him, how many players behind him are looking at him and saying, "I want that. That's what I want."
Liam Delap.
The Cole Palmers, the Liam Delaps, even the guys that are from overseas that have come into City's academy, like
Jaden
Oscar
Braff.
Bob or how many more wind up like a Jaden Brett. So it'll be really interesting to see. These guys are watching Phil, and they're basically saying, "This is what I want next. I want the spotlight. I accept the spotlight, and I'm going to do whatever I can take to get it there, to get myself there, I should
And
say."
you remember Phil Foden in the Under-17 World Cup playing against Juan Miranda at left back, Abel
Yep.
Ruiz. Oh, it's to see the glow up.
Yeah.
I think it's the first glow up I've seen since he was like 15 years old. Like, I'm so proud of Foden. It's such a good moment
See,
for.
and you thought I was going to be a Foden hater. You thought I was going to be somebody that I have a partial nature to Mason Mount, but because that's a separate glow up, one where he had to obviously outshine on multiple stages.
Well, let me just say this. It
Yeah,
just shows Mason Mount's greatness being compared to Phil Foden. Okay?
yeah,
Because Mason Mount is older than Phil Foden.
right.
So in turn that's a good argument you can put on Foden's end, but what a good headache you have if you're Southgate, right? You got Mason Mount, you got Phil Foden, you got Jack Grealish, you
Yeah,
got you got so many players for that position.
you do.
It's well, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that are you've already hit the nail on the head. There are going to be some people that are not very happy with the roster release, and understandably so, because you can only take so many. One,
Mm,
and then two, you can only obviously play 11. So it's going to be pretty interesting when it comes down to that.
is
But
Greenwood there?
oh man, after today, his last, what's he got? He's got 5 in his last 5. I know we're going
Yes.
off on a tangent
Five
here, but
five goals in his last 5 matches, yeah.
last 7. He's doing. If he's not there, he's doing everything he can to get there. So,
You consider him a generational talent, like many United fans say.
my goodness, not yet. No, not
Okay.
yet. I do
Mm.
I do consider him well on his way to being one.